6.3 credit cards and store promotions. Okay, so credit cards is a daily interest. Okay, we're going to be using the simple interest formula for credit cards. And what's going to happen is often they're going to give you an amount of days, and then we got to convert that to years. So you're going to have to bear with me while we go through that. Okay, blah, blah, blah. It says rates of interest on most secure investments are fairly low. A secure investment is usually an investment that has collateral attached to it. For example, a car loan. Okay, so if you die or you lose your job or something crazy happens and you cannot pay your loan back, there's a car to be sold by the bank to receive their money back for the loan, which makes it secure. Therefore, you'd have a lower interest rate. Also a home. Okay, if you buy a home, it's typically at a low interest rate because if you die or if something happens, you lose your job or whatever, you can sell the house and get the money back. So it's secure. However, for example, if you borrow money or use a credit card and do not pay it off each month, finance charges can be quite high. Okay? Look at this. 20% on a credit card. That's pretty reasonable actually for credit cards. Like 18% I think is pretty standard for a credit card. If you're well established and you have good credit, I think you can get them down to as low as 10 to 12%. And I've seen them as high as like 30%. Okay. So let's just jump right into the examples. We'll start with number 1 on the next page. So it says calculate the interest due on the following credit card balances. Okay, so if I give you a credit card question, I need you to assume that it's going to be simple interest. I need you to know that. And I'll probably even throw down some hints on the test, like credit card, hint, simple interest formula. Just so that you don't do everything with the wrong formula. Okay, so an unpaid balance, like what does that mean, unpaid balance? You still owe that money. Okay, so PRT, that's what you're trying to accomplish here. Principal is your amount of money that you owe. And the rate as a decimal, so 0.1950. And now the 15 days. So how do we express this properly? In a bracket to represent the time. And we have to do a conversion to years. So we divide by 365. Josh. All right. Is that kind of clear on how to get T into years? Not very difficult, is it? When you see it. And whatever it equals is your interest rate. Or pardon me, your interest earned. So calculate the interest due. That's what we're doing. Yeah, so he owes an extra 16 bucks. It says calculate the interest due, and that's what we've done. We don't have to add it back on because it's not saying what is the new balance that this credit card customer now has. Alright, I'll leave you guys to try B. And then with C, what's different about C? It's not days, but it's months. So instead of dividing by 365, we'll divide by 12. Good. All right, so I'll put the answers up for B and C, and you can just look up when you're ready and double check that you've got what I've got. You don't have to look right away. Just look up when you're ready. For the cents? Yeah. I was just copying off the key, and the key was wrong. Okay, so you can take a look when you're ready. It's all up there. And we'll go to the next page as soon as you've done that. Okay, so the next question involves counting the days, and we're going to need to know how to count the days in a month, or need to know how many days are in each month. So here's a strategy that I think most people might have heard about, but may or not. You count the months on your knuckles and the grooves between your knuckles, and you leave out your thumb knuckle. Every month that lands on a knuckle is 31, and every month that lands on a groove is 30. Except for February, which is 28, or 29 on a leap year. And leap years are the ones that are divisible by 4. So 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. So this year was a leap year.
Please tell me we don't have a question with the leap year.
And it will be a leap year, yeah. So you start on your first knuckle, and January has 31 days. February is special, has 28 days, 29 on a leap year. March has 31. April's got 30. May's got 31. June's got 30. July's got 31. August got... Are we in a groove now? I just ended on a knuckle. Just go backwards into your pinky groove. Yeah, let's do that. So June 30th was, June has 30 days was your last knuckle on your hand. And you go back to Let's start right from the beginning, okay? First knuckle. This is my index knuckle. January, 31 days. Groove, February, 28 days. March, knuckle, 31. April, in a groove, has 30. May, 31. June, in a groove. July, on the knuckle. So July is 31 days. Into August, back into a groove. August has 30 days. Into a knuckle. September's got 31 days. Does it? September 31st?
Sounds right.
Doesn't sound right at all. October 31st. So is our system working? What the heck? My system's flawed. I just Googled it. Google's never wrong. Okay, so we figured it out. You have to put your knuckles and your hands side by side. Okay. You think I could draw this, or is this going to be bad?
Try again.
Just get someone to hold their hands up.
Take a picture of my hands with the camera.
Get someone to hold their hands.
Okay, I'm going to take a picture of your hand. Yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Take a photo. Okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go, guys. Whoops. Okay, let's have some tech issues here, as usual. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay, so let's, starting on the knuckle. January, February special, March, April, May. Oh, what is happening? We're having some Wi-Fi issues. There we go. January, you can see January, February, March, April, May. June is in a groove. July is on a knuckle. August is on a knuckle. So it goes knuckle to knuckle. July and August both have 31 days. September, October, November, and December ends on a knuckle. July and August are both on a knuckle. So 31 days in July. Okay, so let's try this question here. Okay, guys. Marsha's credit card company. Stoby, are you live back there? How many days in June? January, February, March, April, May, June. 30. You weren't listening. Okay, Marsha's credit card company charges 24% per annum. Counting each day that an amount is owed, her only purchase was an item for $568.93. So this is how much she owes. She did not pay on the due date, March 10th. So after the due date is when the credit card company will start charging you interest. They usually give you a grace period of 1 month. You pay for something, they don't charge you interest for 1 month. Once that 1 month has passed, the first day that that month passes, that deadline passes, you start getting charged interest. Yes, companies do this all the time. Like the Brick has their own credit card. The Bay has their own credit card. Don't pay for 30 days. Don't pay for 2 years. You ever see those commercials? And then people don't pay for 2 years, and next thing you know, they're stacked in debt. And those companies they're slippery too. They might like backdate all the days to the start, and you'd owe 2 years of interest. And it's in the fine print that you don't read.
It's like Apple terms and services you never read.
Yeah.
You just click accept.
That's because they give it to you in 10 paragraphs.
All right, so how much will she owe on the next statement, April 2nd, if she doesn't make any other purchases? So how many days in March? January, February, March. March is on a knuckle. So March has 31 days. So we got to go March 10th to March 31. How many days is that, including March 10th? 22 days. How do I know it's 22? 31 take away 10 is 21. Plus the 10th, the 1 day. So 21 days, if you subtract, plus, if you count on your hands, you can do it March 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. That was 22. And then April 1st and 2nd is another 2 days. So altogether, 24 days. So you go 568.93 times 0.24 times 24 days. This will solve for interest. So 568.93 times 0.24 times 24. Whoops, what did I screw up? What did I screw up? Yes, 24 divided by 365, because you have to have years. Otherwise, it's way too big of a number. So I got 897, rounded up to 898. We have to be so careful when we're doing these questions because it says how much will she owe on her next statement. So you have to add the 898 back onto your original. So that's P plus I. So 568.93 plus 8.98. So $577.91 is what this person is going to owe on her next statement. So is $9 a lot? No, she was 24 days late on her payment, so they charged her $8. Maybe she didn't have a jacket and she really wanted it and she had no money. So she bought herself a $570 jacket. And she was thinking to herself, well, I need to have this. Maybe it was a $2,000 jacket on sale for $500. And she didn't have any money, but she knew it was going to be a good deal because it was only going to cost her an extra $9. And she's going to save $1,500. It's on sale. So maybe that's why she did it. Okay? Rich people. All right, did you guys still need that page or we're good? Okay, let's take a look at the next one while Zaki's copying this down. It says Harley used her credit card to make the following purchases during the month. She does not have to pay interest on purchases during the month, only on outstanding balances. Her credit card company charges 18.5% per annum. So there's her charges. What is her balance due on the statement date? So you need to add up her total purchases. Okay, so while you're waiting, we can add up her total purchases. And the computer will always do this for you. Like Visa and MasterCard aren't going to make you guys add up all your charges. Okay? That's why you double check and make sure that you know yourself personally how to add. A lot of people, though, do not track their credit card purchases and they just trust the company.
Isn't that illegal though if they had numbers running into it?
Yes.
What? Who's getting?
It's called fraud.
If they do that, could you just sue them for everything?
Yes, if you have enough legal power. Okay, so
What if you are?
this is the answer to question A. It says, what is her balance due on the statement date? Okay. We're assuming that she had a zero balance from the previous month. So nothing is being carried forward. So she's a responsible credit card user who pays off her balance every month. So it was zero going into November. On November 2nd, she made her first purchase. November 23rd, she made her last purchase. You add all those purchases up, and this is what her balance is due on the statement. You notice that zero interest has been added on. So this is free money, as long as you pay it back every month. It's free money. You're allowed to use it as long as you pay it back every month. I do this every month.
$600 a little expensive for a monthly.
That's plane tickets are expensive, especially right now with the U.S. dollar. She can with the plane ticket. She bailed on her bill. She can pay her bill online wherever she is in the world. You guys, right? Just because you're on a beach in the Bahamas doesn't mean you're not still connected to the internet in the hotel resort. Right? Okay. Anyways, moving on. If the minimum payment is 5% or $10. Okay, we need to talk about minimum payment. The credit card company will always offer a minimum payment. If you always pay the minimum payment, they will continue to offer their services to you. It's either 5% of your bill or $10, whichever is greater. Okay? So 5% is an easy calculation to do. It's just 10% cut in half. So if you're good with money and you're good with numbers, watch me. 1207, 10% of that would be 120. And then cut 120 in half, it would be $60. So you're going to owe roughly $60, which is 5%. Okay? If you didn't catch what I was doing there, all you have to do is take the 5% and times it by the balance. Whoops. So 0.05 times 1207, 0.05 is $60.35. So which does she pay, 10 or 60? Yes, she'll have to pay, this is the minimum payment. Now this is deception at its finest. Whichever is greater, the 5% or $10. This is deception at its finest. People read their balances, especially ill-informed, uneducated people. They read their balance statement and they say, ooh, minimum payment, I'll just pay that. I'll be okay with minimum payment. You'll never pay off your credit card by paying off the minimum payment. It'll say on the back, some of them have them on the back in the small fine print, years to take if only paying off the minimum payment, it'd be like 35 years. And it's like a $200 item or something. Yeah, you pay like $2 a year or $1 a year for 35 years. So, or whatever it is. Or like maybe it's even like beyond your lifetime. It's like 200 years to pay off at the minimum payment. Okay? But the minimum payment will be big and bolded right at the front of your statement. At the top, big and bold. Down on the back of the page on the bottom, in small print, it'll say, years to take to print off or to pay off your debt. 1 million years, or whatever. So, if she pays only the minimum and doesn't use the card between then and the next statement date, how much will she owe on her December 28th statement? Okay? So this is where it gets interesting. So if she only pays the minimum and doesn't use the card between then and the next statement date, how much will she owe on her December 28th statement? Okay? So what'd she start with? 1207.05, take off 60.35. So what does she owe currently? So she owes 1146.70. Okay. How much will she owe on her December 28th statement? And this was a balance that started on November 28th. Okay, so we need to calculate the interest that's going to accrue. Okay? So how many days will she be charged interest? Sorry, you can ignore all this. This is not supposed to be there. Yeah. Okay, so this is, now we need how much, how many days will she be charged interest? How many days, guys? When did it start? November 28th. And when is her statement? December 28th. So November 28th, 29th, and 30. Is there only 30 days in November? Yeah, so 3 days in November. Okay, November 28th, 29th, and 30. So that's 3 days. And then December 1st to 28th is another how many days? 28. What's 28 take away 1? 27. Plus the extra day that you're counting, December 1st. So it's 28 days. So altogether, you'd have to charge interest for 31 days. No, this is answers. I know, but it's on my screen. Ooh, I'll do one of these. Ooh, yes. Yes. Yes, I'm so powerful. Okay, so I equals PRT. She owes 1146.70. The interest rate is 0.185. Nope, I just write it there just because it says 18.50. And then the 31 days divided by 365. So the interest that accrues is 1802 after rounding. You have to add that back to the original amount. And you get 1164.72. And that's your final answer. And you're copying this down, right, Austin?
Yes. Yes,
All right, so we'll leave you at that question for the final part of this class. That was question 3. And when we get back on Monday, we'll do questions 4 and 5, 6, 7, and 8. Yes. Yes.